The power of knowledge has never been more important than in today's industry of crop insurance. QBE NAU has empowered our agents and insureds with EASYview Weather to make sure they know if hail has fallen in their field before you submit a loss. Thanks for joining me. My name is Katie LaMere. Today we're going to go over QBE NAU's EASYview Weather. This easy-to-use web-based tool is backed by data from Weather Decision Technologies and will help you verify and locate the proximity of hail events in a field with hail as small as 1/4 of an inch in size. Some of the advantages of EASYview Weather is that you won't be surprised by recent weather events that may have impacted your fields. You can save time with the capability to look it up on your own time frame. There's a quick turnaround on weather events with next day data availability, and you have the ability to print and save any of your mapped information. The EASYview Weather is also available to all QBE NAU staff, our agents, and policyholders or insureds. It can be accessed on mobile as well as online. You can access our EASYview Weather through our policyholder portal if you are a policyholder, through our agent portal if you are an agent, and also through our agent portal if you are a QBE NAU employee. The browsers needed to access EASYview Weather include Chrome, Internet Explorer versions 10 or greater, or Firefox. Just a couple of items important to note is that all of the times listed within EASYview Weather are Central Standard Time. Also, EASYview Weather is just a general guideline. We cannot use EASYview Weather for approval or denial of claims. It cannot be based on this tool. So let's get started and navigate to www.naucountry.com. Once there, go to the upper right corner of the screen and we will click Login to log into the agent portal. We'll do this from an agent perspective here. Once the pop-up appears, click on Agent Portal and log in with your agent credentials. Once the portal is open, you'll see a variety of tabs near the top of the page. We'll click on EASYview Weather. For both agents and policyholders, by the way, EASYview Weather will appear the same for both. Once EASYview Weather page has opened up, you'll see that there are 5 different search options to allow you to look up your hail policy or claim. You can also check out your MPCI policy or claim, or you can actually search by address. Anytime that you have any questions about any of the search options, there will be a question mark that you can hover over or click, and it will give you kind of a prompt on what type of information that you'll need to enter in. If you move your mouse over to the top left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the same policy and claim search options within EASYview Weather menu, as well as a hyperlink to go back to the agent portal, or you can log out of the system. Today we're just going to do a MPCI policy search. I'm going to click on the MPCI policy search option. The pop-up window will appear. Again, I'm going to hover over the question mark, which gives me an example of what I need to enter in for this search, which in this case will be the 7-digit policy number. So we don't need to add the state or the year or that type of information. And we can also search by the last name of the policyholder. For this particular example, I'm going to key in the policy number. Once I've typed that in, I'll click the button that says Go. And you'll see my policyholder will show up in this list. I'm going to click on my policyholder, and that should take me to that policyholder's EASYview Weather screen. Let's walk through each of the pieces on this page by starting in the upper left corner by clicking on the EASYview Weather menu option. This again shows us all 5 of the search options in the instance I need to change up my search. This will allow me to go back to the portal and also view an additional product, Field Insights, which is covered in another training webinar, or we can log out of the system entirely. To get out of that menu, we can just click outside of it. Below the menu, we have our recent weather event cards that display all of the dates I may have had adverse weather on my field. In the upper right corner of the screen, you'll see my policy number as well as my policyholder or insured's name. Just to the right of that, another menu dropdown will give us the ability to view my MPCI policy details. Once that window pops up, This will show us all of our policyholders' information, location information, as well as the agency. To exit that, we just click the X in the upper right corner. One other thing to note is that this particular menu also gives me the Add Date Filter option. I'll enter in an example date of May 17th, 2017. It needs to be typed in the format of a 2-letter month / 2-letter date / and 4-digit year. Once I've typed that in, I'm going to click Go. You'll see on the left-hand side of the screen where all of my event cards were listed before are now filtered to 3 event cards. This filter option will also include the day prior, including the date following the one that I typed in, so that you can see kind of what happened around that date as well. And sometimes storms will happen between the overnight hours and the next day, and that's why it's a good thing so that you have at least a general overview of the weather for that particular time period for that particular area. While looking at the dates surrounding my filter date of May 17th, you'll notice that on May 18th, we have a display for hail, which comes up as NA. Well, now normally you would think that that means not applicable, but in this case, the way that Weather Viewer works is that it takes your full farm view, which includes all of your fields, and it draws an imaginary circle around the farm view. We extend that circle out to a 10-mile radius, and if any adverse weather has hit within that 10-mile radius, you'll see an event card for that particular day. The system wants to make you aware that adverse weather has affected the area around your fields, and it may not have hit yours directly, but it was within a 10-mile vicinity. If we click on this card with the NA on it, and we zoom out on the map using the minus sign toggle button, we'll see that there was hail in the area, but it did not directly hit my fields. So my fields are these white shaded squares. We're going to zoom out, and anything that's in a different color shading, which we'll go over here in a little bit, that would be where hail may have potentially fallen. So it wasn't directly hit to my field, but it was very close and within that 10-mile radius. Now let's go back to the date that I wanted to filter and dive more into on May 17th. By doing that, let's click on the Back to Search Results link in the upper left side of the screen. My filtered dates appear again, and I'm going to click on the May 17th event card. Once I've clicked on the May 17th event card, you notice that below my main date Weather Viewer event card will start to detail each of the fields that I have within that location. As I click on those fields, if I click F14, it will zoom right into that field on the map. And you'll notice that by it being highlighted in this green color. If I click on another affected field, for instance F15, you'll see that my map automatically zooms into that location and displays what may have happened in that area. Before we detail the individual field cards, let's go over the details in the main weather date event card. I'm going to click on that one here in the upper left. The map zooms out to show the full picture. We'll see our date and time that the event occurred. Again, all times are in Central Standard Time. The first section to the left where it says 2 of 11, this is detailing how many of the fields you have on this policy. In this case, we have 11 fields, and 2 of those fields were potentially affected by weather on that date. Along the top of this card, you'll notice that we have the distance in proximity to where the weather was to your field. In this case, it says 0.00 miles, which means it directly affected 1 or more of my fields. The gust will display gusts in miles per hour. The text gust will appear when gusts were over 40 miles per hour. If they were below 40 miles per hour, the text will appear as wind. In this instance, it says that gusts of 65 miles per hour did occur. Over to the right side of the card, you'll see the hail diameter or size that potentially hit your field. Note that this weather card shows an overall size for hail for all of your fields. You'll get more detail when you click on each of the individual field cards within this event date. Again, if this section says NA, that means that the weather did not directly affect your field, but it was within a 10-mile radius or proximity of your farm or field. Just below to the left, you'll notice you've got a high and low temperature for that date. To the right, we have the relative humidity percentage. To the right of that, we have the dew point temperature. And finally, to the lower right-hand side of the card, you'll see the conditions that were noted on that date. Next, let's check out the map to the right of the event cards. We have two slider bars that will let you adjust your map and data overlaid upon it. Move the hail slider to the left or right to make the hail data appear lighter or more translucent, or brighter, more opaque. You can do the same thing with the background imagery. If you move the slider bar to the left, much of the background imagery fades out. So then you end up getting just a blank map, and you can maybe see that hail data just a little bit more clearly. However you want it to appear when you print it out or show it to your policy insured, it's entirely up to you. If we look at each individual field weather event card, in this instance, I'm going to click on F15. Once we click on that card, the map will automatically zoom in. You'll see the size of the hail that potentially affected your field. In this case, about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Not only from the card do we see that, but from the color coding here that matches up with the legend above. We'll see the actual field outline here in green that was affected by this size of hail. We can check the color of the hail data between it looks about 1/2 inch to about 1 inch diameter in size here with this legend up on the top. You'll also see that you can view the distance from which hail hit your field, and in this case it was 0.00 miles, so it was a direct hit. The wind or the gust information also appears. In this case, it was less than 40 miles an hour, so it appears as wind at 24 miles an hour out of the south. The acres affected, and we'll also see the lat long and the location of this field. You can go field by field and see how they were affected by the storm. So I'll click on the other one as well. Notice that it just scoots down to the south and east. If I wanted to zoom out, I can either use the wheel of my mouse and zoom out, or I can use the actual toggle buttons, plus or minus, to zoom out on the map. And again, you'll get a kind of a really nice picture of the fields that were affected by hail. The ones that coordinate with the actual cards will be highlighted in green when you click on them, and it should automatically zoom in for you. Last but not least, if you want to print this information, you can go to an individual field card, or you can go to the weather event card and click Print Page. When we do that, we'll see a preview of what the page will look like once it has been printed. You can still move your map around the screen to get it exactly where you want it when you print it out. So in this case, I might just move it over just a little bit. I can also zoom in if I want, or zoom back out. Once it's set, you can click on the Print Page option near the top of the screen. If you're using the Chrome browser, you'll actually be able to select the Change button and save it directly as a PDF, which can then be saved to your computer if you want to send this electronically to somebody, or you can save it for your records. Or if you choose in the Change option, you can also choose a printer of your choice. If you've decided to make a PDF, you can click Save, and it will save your document from here. Once you see this as a PDF, you'll note that you have all of your policyholders or insured's information along the top, the weather event information, your map, and you'll see detailed field information as well. Thank you so much for joining us today to learn more about QBE NAU's EASYview Weather. We hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions regarding this or other products, please contact your marketing rep, or you can call our call center department. Have a wonderful day, and thank you.